Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, March 29th. I hope you guys have had a good weekend. We're not at church together today, but that's okay. We're here together, right? Dr. Hinkle and Pastor Bobby had a great message for us this morning, a video. I hope you guys watched that. And so now it's time for our Minute for Children's Ministry. Now for the next 2 weeks, we're going to do something a little bit different. If you watched my first video, which feels like yesterday, but actually was a while back, I talked about how we were going to do a storybook Easter. We are going to count down to Easter for the next 2 weeks. We're going to use these cards together with our Jesus Storybook Bible, and we're going to have a little Bible verse, and we're going to read a story every day from now until Easter. Because even though we know now that we're not going to be together at church on Easter Sunday, Easter's still coming, and that's a good thing. Easter will still happen. We are still going to celebrate, whether we are with our whole church family or with our immediate family. Easter is coming. Good news is coming. So we're going to celebrate. So our first card, we have 14 days until he is risen. Who's he? Jesus, that's right, until Jesus is risen. So our card for today says, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. And that's from Luke chapter 8, verse 48. Our story in our Jesus Storybook Bible today is also from Luke chapter 8, and it's the story of Jairus' daughter. And the story is a little girl and a poor, frail lady. So if you have one of these Jesus Storybook Bibles at home, you can press pause, go grab it. You can read along with us. It's page 214. If not, I'll show you the pictures and I'm going to read the whole story for you. So that's okay. You're not going to miss out. This is a great one to have, though, if you guys want to have it in your home library. So, a little girl and a poor, frail lady. Can you guys see the picture? There was once a little girl who didn't get out of bed one morning, or the next, or the next. In fact, she didn't get out of bed for a whole month. She was very sick, and no one knew how to make her better. Jairus was her daddy, and he loved her. One day, he was sitting by her bed, holding her hand, wishing there was something he could... I know, he said. He jumped to his feet, put on his coat, kissed his daughter, ran down the steps, past the servants, out of the house, through the gates, along the road, into the town, up the steps, and into the temple. He fought his way through all the people until at last he found who he was looking for. So here's his daughter, and here's Jairus. He's running down the steps. And now look, he's running up the steps to the temple. And he found who he was looking for right here. Let's see who do you think it is? Jesus, he said, falling at Jesus' feet. My daughter, he pleaded, please. But he didn't need to beg, because before he'd even finished speaking, Jesus reached out his hand and helped him up. I'll come at once, Jesus said. Jairus' eyes filled with tears. Jesus was coming. It would be all right. In those days, of course, they didn't have ambulances, so they had to go by foot. Jesus' helpers knew that he would heal the sick girl, but they must hurry. If Jesus didn't get there soon, it would be too late. But everyone was in the way. Can you see all the people? Everybody's in the way here. Hustling and bustling, jostling and pressing, pushing and shoving, squishing and squashing. The disciples ran ahead, forcing back the crowd. Suddenly, Jesus stopped. His friends looked back. What was he doing? Who touched me? Jesus asked, because he felt power go out of him. Me, said a frail lady, looking down at the ground because she was ashamed. The poor lady had been sick for 12 years, and she had to get well. She knew if she only touched Jesus' coat, she would be healed. So she touched his coat, and instantly she was well. Do you see the old lady here? Right here, she touched Jesus' coat. We don't have time, Jesus' friends said. But Jesus always had time. He reached out his hands and gently lifted her head. He looked into her eyes and smiled. You believed, he said, wiping a tear from her eye, and now you are well. Just then, Jairus' servants rushed up to Jairus. It's too late, he said breathlessly. Your daughter is dead. Jesus turned to Jairus. It's not too late, Jesus said. Trust me. At Jairus' house, everyone was crying, but Jesus said, I'm going to wake her up. Everyone laughed at him because they knew she was dead. Jesus walked into the little girl's room. Can you see? I'm going to switch over here so you guys can see a little bit better. And there, lying in the corner in the shadows, was the still little figure. Jesus sat on the bed and took her pale hand. Honey, he said, it's time to get up. And he reached down into death and gently brought the little girl back to life. The little girl woke up, rubbed her eyes as if she just had a good night's sleep, and leaped out of bed. Jesus threw open the shutters and sunlight flooded the dark room. Hungry? Jesus asked. She nodded. Jesus called to her family. Bring this little girl some breakfast. Jesus helped and healed many people like this. He made blind people see. He made deaf people hear. He made lame people walk. Jesus was making the sad things come untrue. He was mending God's broken world. See, there's Jesus with the little girl. The end. So what do you think of that story? You think Jairus was happy? I bet so. And very grateful and thankful for Jesus? Yeah. So that's our story for today. Tomorrow we'll have another one. We'll have another Bible verse from our cards, and we'll have a story that goes with it. And so we will read that. And we're going to do one every day up until Easter. So we got 2 weeks together to do this, our countdown to Easter. I hope you guys will join me. We've got some other things that are coming up that I'm going to try to do for you, so stay tuned. Give you some tips and ideas and games and things that you can do during Holy Week and for Easter to celebrate, and some things as a family, and hopefully to have fun as well. So, as always, love you, miss you. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.